Welcome to the Gentleman's Guide to Gaming and day 11 of RPG a Day. Day 11's question is, which gamer most influenced the way you play? And the answer for this one was an easy one for me. When I first started getting into gaming, I had joined a social club, or a gaming group I guess, that was organised quite formally. They met up every single Sunday and they played a different game on alternating weeks. There were 3 different tables and so therefore 6 different games going at a time. The person who had invited me to join this club told me that I'd be playing Dungeons and Dragons, and that was why I decided to sign up. However, I turned up on the wrong weekend and ended up in a game of the legendary journeys of Hercules and Xena, or Hercules and Xena, the legendary journeys. And that was my first ever role-playing game. The person running that game was a fine fellow by the name of Nigel. I didn't know him beforehand, but he eventually became my best friend. He was a fantastic gamer, brilliant confidant, a keen listener, and we would talk into the nth hour about settings, about classes, about characters, about powers, about factions. He wanted to know, what would a paladin of Lathander be like when compared to a paladin of Amonator? What would a cleric of Merkel be like when compared to a cleric of Kelemvor? Why would a red wizard ever leave their homeland? What is it about the followers of Set in Vampire the Masquerade that makes a newly embraced follower of Set so ardently faithful? After all, they know there are vampires of other clans, so why do they believe the line that their clan tells and no one else's when so much other information is available? All of that. He would analyse it, he would dig down into it, and he would expound on it and do so in a creative way. He would write incredibly colourful backstories about his characters that he knew no one else would ever read, but he did it for fun because it helped him get into character, and importantly, he always did these things for fun. He never took anything that happened at a gaming table personally. A character would die, he wouldn't mind, it was all good fun. A decision would go against his character, he didn't mind, he knew it was a game. He was brilliant at compartmentalising the difference between the character and the player, and never got frustrated, outraged, upset or disappointed as the matter of a game. He once explained it to me that in a game, in a comic for instance, where Batman is losing, it does of course lose in some comics, sometimes the villain gets away, and that's fine because it adds to the character, it adds to the plot. You can't win every single time, you can't be first every single initiative round, you can't always score a critical hit. And this was, I suppose, Nigel's philosophy. He just enjoyed the game. He knew that it was meant to be fun and he made it fun. And that's something I have tried to emulate. I've tried to make things interesting, I've tried to make things fun, whether it's by adding colour to my antagonists and my NPCs or my characters when I'm a player, or whether it's simply by just not taking things personally when I happen to lose in a game. Not that you can lose. There's no such thing as bad, wrong fun. Different people play in different ways, and I've got absolutely no issue with people who do truly immerse themselves in their character, but my style of play is very much disassociative. I have my GM hat, I have my player hat, and I have my Matthew hat, and I feel that I gained that from the time I spent with Nigel, who'd been playing for a little longer than I have. Now, sadly, Nigel died quite young, to be fair, in his car with his fiancée. They were killed by a driver who fell asleep at the wheel, and this driver just completely obliterated their car. There was nothing that could be done about it, killed almost instantly, but it was a wrenching blow, obviously, to his family, to his friends, to me, and to those of his fiancée. And it's something I would say in, I suppose, friendship terms I've never quite got over, because he was a massive influence on me, and I've long felt that much of what I've done with my channel, with my writing, I wouldn't have done if it hadn't been for his influence. So I've yet to dedicate a book to him, I've yet to make some profound declaration on YouTube about him beyond this video, and another one in which he is mentioned But I think it is fair to say that I've had no greater influence on my role-playing style, my gaming, than what Nigel provided, and was sadly cut short by his untimely death. But such is the way of things. I'm sure, I personally don't believe in afterlives or the like, but if he had time to wax philosophical during the moments of his death, I'm sure he wouldn't have held a grudge against the person that killed him. After all, sometimes the dice fall where they may, and sometimes it doesn't play in our favour, but that's life in general, and role-playing games are just an extension of that. They are lives that we play that are not our own. So there's my answer to day 11. Thank you very much for watching.